All right, the Thunder and the Bulls, all eyes on the point guard matchup. Derrick Rose remains the center of attention in Chicago, but he's had a slow start. Double vision. And tonight, Russell Westbrook is coming to town. Westbrook averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. It's their first meeting since 2010. And it's moments away here on TNT. And we welcome you to Studio J in Atlanta. TNT NBA tip-off presented by Auto Trader. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Grant Hill sitting in for Charles Barkley, who is working the game in Chicago with Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad that
with my favorite Tar Heel.
And my favorite guy from Durham.
let's
and
talk.
my neighbor I never see.
I'll never see this
Whose
guy.
fault is that?
His fault.
I'll never see. I don't think Shaq.
Y'all never
lives in my
borrow a
neighborhood.
cup of sugar from each other?
Nope.
Well, in that neighborhood, it's probably a gallon.
Looking like a senator, Grant.
Well, you know.
Senator Grant. I'll vote for you, brother.
You're not my brother.
Oklahoma City and Chicago. You got to love this, Westbrook and Rose.
Well, you know, you said it. What, 2010?
2010.
Last time they've been together. You know, two of the most dynamic athletic point guards, you know, the game has had in the last 10 years. But both of them, you know, obviously Rose has changed his game, but Westbrook hasn't. So they feel that he has a power advantage over every guard. Typically, he wouldn't have had it against Rose, but we will see that's not 2010 Rose. So I want to see if he has that advantage against him to post Derrick Rose up. I don't think anyone's ever tried that ever in the league so far.
Yeah, and Derrick Rose he's a short guard, but he's strong. He's physical. And so, you know, I'm curious, too, to see that matchup. But I want to see Durant and Westbrook, those two guys. I mean, the year that Westbrook had last year, now he was in the MVP conversation. And if Durant coming back and he's healthy, he's playing great basketball.
The last two seasons really haven't had full seasons. But getting off to a slow start, you know, tonight he's going against an elite Russell Westbrook. This is a big test for him, you know, to see if he still has it confidence-wise. When you're going up another great player, you use that great player to see where you are. So I'm very interested in seeing this matchup and seeing if Derrick Rose still has it. Because, you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, he's lost it. You know, he's lost his edge. You know, there's talk of, you know, it's Jimmy Butler's team now, getting rid of him because, you know, he doesn't have any more. So he needs to use this Westbrook character to say, you know what, I'm still the man. I've been hurt the last couple of years, but this is my game. And tonight is a game that he needs to step up.
Thunder coming off a game in which they lost to the Toronto Raptors, were outscored 30-17 in the fourth quarter. Meantime, the Bulls coming off a loss to the Charlotte Hornets, a game in which they gave up 130 points. And after the game, Jimmy Butler was talking about the Chicago defense, and other teams have just been missing shots, to tell you the truth. We score enough points, but that's not the problem. When you don't stop anybody, when they put up 130, we got to nip that in the bud now, because that is not winning basketball. Those weren't the only really pointed comments made after that game. Even Fred Hoiberg saying there was too much individual effort. He said it was as if nobody had anybody's back on that team. There was no fight and there was no resolve. Been a while since you heard that coming out of a Chicago camp.
Well, trust comes from, you know, not only offensively, defensively. Trust meaning like if the defensive scheme is we're going to send the guy baseline. You know, here's a guy, you know, who's been an all-star playing 18 minutes a game. So you have new guys in bigger roles. You got Snell in a bigger role, McDermott in a bigger role. These guys have never been in winning time. They've been in playing time, but they've never been in an NBA game in winning time. And this is going to be a long process for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and to Kenny's point, look, Joakim Noah, 2 years ago was fourth place in the MVP balloting. Now he's playing a few minutes off the bench. So to me, you're saying we're going to sacrifice defense for offense. They were the last 5 years, top 5 in defense efficiency. Now they're in the middle of the pack. So that's what happens. And of course, offensively, still.
And he's the best passer, big man, possibly in the game.
He's a great passing big man. But the question is, can Noah and Gasol coexist in this new sort of pace and space style of play? And will Noah, going into a contract year, will he be there?
No, he's not going to be. That's the writing's on the wall. You play a guy who's, you know, is an all-star Shaq, that few minutes, you're saying we don't need him here. And so there are teams that are looking and going, ooh, we could use this guy and take us over the top and get to an NBA championship, and Noah is one of those type of guys.
You know, the last 20 seconds.
You know, I've been here 5 years. Usually when you mention Chicago, it's all about defense. This year they're talking about offense. And, you know, to take the anchor of the defense and put him on the bench, I think that's sending the wrong message. And you know, For Jimmy Butler to leave a comment like that under Coach Thibodeau, comment would have never been made. Matter of fact, the team wouldn't even score 130 points. So they have to get back to their original style of play, which is defense, and add the new offensive system.
Unless you change
to become
players.
a great team.
Unless you want to change personnel. That's not a personnel team to do that.
Later on tonight, Memphis and Portland.